Hi, I'm Summer.
And I'm Mike.
And we got married.
With children.
We're married 2 years now.
Blended for 11.
Like a margarita.
Yeah, baby, like a margarita.
And you're listening to the Everything Always podcast.
Want to tell them why we do this?
We do this because blending families isn't easy. There's step-parenting, co-parenting, his ex,
Her ex.
schedules, sibling rivalry,
Money issues.
custody issues.
Dating and relationship issues.
It's a whole lot of stuff.
Blended with a whole lot of good stuff.
And we're here to talk about all of it because we've done most of it.
We might not be experts, but we've learned a lot.
And we're still learning, and we want to share that with you.
Thanks for joining. Now let's go.
Hello, and welcome to another Everything Always episode.
Well, hello.
Welcome, Michael. Welcome to the show.
Why are you saying it all funny like
so
that?
glad to have you here. Right when we started, you had this little screech of your coffee cup. We're not even going to worry about our background noise today because we're quarantining. We've got kids upstairs. We're drinking coffee.
What kids?
What kids?
There's kids here?
So we are day 1,625,000 of quarantine, I believe.
Yes. And Summer's looking very fresh.
I'm looking so fresh.
Let's talk about Summer's new wardrobe. It's morning pajamas and then afternoon pajamas. And then sometimes when she has to do Zoom calls, she totally cheats. She'll put on a nice shirt on the top and she's got pajama pants on. Let's say this. She looks very cute in pajamas though.
You know what? It's been hot. So swimsuits and cover-ups have also worked their way into the mix and some sweaty workout clothes too.
I heard a rumor, and it has not been substantiated,
Okay.
that the virus does not live in temperatures over 80 degrees and by the pool.
I know. And we're spending lots of time at the pool now.
And that it's true. We actually have been spending a lot of time outside. The weather's been amazingly beautiful.
It has. It's been really great.
Which is nice because we're coming off of kind of a rainy, cold winter.
I've been running outside, which by the way, not that this is brain science, but it's extremely harder to run with this heat. But then I'll do a long walk afterwards and I'm listening to some really great books. We've got 2 book clubs. So we've got our family book club
We should talk about that.
We should talk about that. And then I've also got a girlfriend book club that we're doing.
Quite the interesting family book club that we've been doing over the last few weeks. So in order to get all the kids kind of engaged in doing something other than watching YouTube or playing video games, and this actually is before they started their back to school program, we decided that we were going to do a family book club. Now, that becomes increasingly more difficult because, as most people that listen to this podcast know, we share custody of the kids, and they go back and forth to their different houses and things like that. That's one of the things that happens. So sometimes they're here. Sometimes we're having to do Zoom book club meetings, and we actually got Justin and Ashlyn's mom to participate too. So it's turned into quite the technological experience.
And here's what's cool is, and this is why I thought it would be fun to talk about this, is what are some of I was going to ask you this, Mike, and you just kind of went right into it, but what are some of the positives that have come from quarantine? Because there's a lot of hard stuff going on, and we could definitely we'll talk about some of that stuff. We'll talk about some of the things that we really dislike about it, but let's dive in with that first one. Some positives that have come out of this, and
let's go back and forth. I'll go first, then you go, then I'll go, then
you go. Well, but that's one positive. I was just going to say it's been a really positive thing, and I think some people would be like, what? There's no way I'm going to be doing a book club with my ex.
It's kind of like just one of those things. You have to make it work.
Well,
okay, so I'm going to go first, and it's going to be a little lighter than probably what some of the things you're going to get into. But I've enjoyed the fact that I feel like we've been spending a lot more time together, and we're doing pretty much weekend dinners every night. It seems like we're doing that, right? It's okay, what are we doing for dinner tonight? Because it's the thing. Everyone's hanging out. We're cooking great food. We have impromptu, game sessions of Flash or whatever the thing is that we're playing. And it kind of, and I was joking around, it kind of feels like it's that time between Christmas and New Year's where there's there's not really any work going on. Everyone's home and you're doing a lot of hanging out. And I like that time. So that's one of the positives for me. You go, boom.
Okay, positive. I mean, I agree with that because it used to be, okay, there's like one night a week where we can all get together for dinner because there were all these crazy hectic schedules and stuff. So a positive is I actually feel like I'm getting more of projects done that I really wanted to focus on and get done. I'm actually moving the needle in those because I think before when you have like the kids' crazy schedule and it's like I have to pick them up at this time, then take them to this class and that class, I almost felt like my work day would have to be done earlier. Like I was worried about, getting ready to get them. And now I feel like, oh, I have more cushion to get these things done. And I just feel a little bit more relaxed. I don't know. That was a positive for me. But it's also like, oh, I can go out in the middle of the day and take a really long walk right now and not be so stressed on time. So that's been a positive for me. Just like
things have slowed down a little bit, right?
Although I feel like you and I are really busy though on a day-to-day basis. It just
because
feels,
we're getting our hustle on.
It's just not as, I don't know. There's just something that's a little bit relaxed about it. But we do have a lot going on. We're, especially as business owners, we're, day to day going,
these are very hard times to navigate, really.
We got to change up marketing. We got to change up how we're speaking to people. We got to change, we're definitely having to make those business pivots, which has that there's been that kind of an urgency, but I don't know, there's people that are a lot more forgiving on certain things. So we're talking about the positives. But yeah, and I think our book club has also been a really great thing, especially for.
So why don't you tell everyone what the book is?
Yeah,
that we're reading?
So we're reading the 7 Habits of Effective Teens, and it's there's.
A lot of people have probably heard about the 7 habits of
highly successful people. This is for teens. Book. I didn't say the title exactly right, but yeah, this is. Did we mention this on another podcast? Maybe not. Maybe it was on one of our lives.
I don't think we've done any other podcasts.
I guess it's been a little bit since you and I have done a podcast together. The one that we just did was I interviewed Christina McGee. She's the divorce and co-parenting expert. She's awesome. Anyways, okay, back to the book. So yeah, we said we're going to do this book club. And then Justin and Ashlyn's mom was like, can I join in on that? And we were like, oh, that'd be actually really cool to have all of us involved. Now, some of you are going, there's no way my ex would ever do that or whatever. Every situation is going to be different. And believe me, there have been times we've both experienced where there's times where you're like, yeah, that would never happen. And then,
peaks and valleys.
But it's really, I think it's been really, really awesome for the kids, like super great. And I think in the beginning, like if you look at our very first book club, and we're all on Zoom, the kids were kind of just like
a little nervous, right? Like, what's going on here? This dynamic is strange.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Because they're having to open up, but you're talking about things that you do for yourself that makes your inner self feel really good. What are the things that make you feel bad? Then we talk about goals, lessons that we've learned, sharing personal experiences. So it's been really cool. And if that is at all a possibility within your blended family, I'd say go for it. Again, it might not be for everyone. I mean, for example, my ex-husband is not involved in it. So it's not like, it's just, if you can make it happen, I think it's awesome. So those are some good things. We've been playing a heck of a lot of games. I feel like Flash is one of our new favorite games that we play with the kids. We also play Psych. There's a lot of fun digital games that you can play with the kids. So anyways, those are positive things. I think kids are learning a lot.
Here's another positive thing. Personal hygiene has increased. There is a ton of hand washing going on around here.
I mean, you could say that. Then at the same time, our kids will go 2 days without showering.
But their hands are clean.
Just been home. And I'm like, didn't you just do that?
Go wash your hands.
Didn't you just do that online dance class and got really sweaty? Have you showered yet? Nah, I'm just going to jump in the pool. Like, I don't know. I know you're saying that maybe for other people, but within our home.
So what you're trying to say is that my positive thing is not real.
Oh, more chores, getting the kids to do more things around the house because it's just right in front of their face. That's a positive. We're still working on it, but
That's going medium. I'm going to put that in a medium category.
In a medium category. Okay.
So we don't really have like a strict like topic for today, right?
No.
This is like kind of more of a check-in. I feel like we've had some pretty heavy podcasts, and it's probably time for you and I just to kind of like.
We just want to let you guys know, like, what's our bunch doing during quarantine? Like, what does it look like for us? Should I go through a typical day?
Let's talk about how Summer cut my hair. That happened.
That did happen.
So here's another positive. I'm going to save so much money on haircuts now because I literally have an in-house beautician. Is that what are hairstylists?
I'm going to tell you something. That was very scary for me to do.
If you want to see the video, you got to go to our YouTube channel.
You go to our YouTube channel. It's Everything Always.
It's what is
you know what? We need
Everything
a special,
Always YouTube channel.
YouTube.
It's a really funny video, and there's this little sneak surprise in there if you watch it. I'm just saying.
I think you can see it. Have you put it on our Everything Always Facebook page?
I think so. I think there's a link to the YouTube channel, which if you go to the YouTube channel, will you please subscribe to it? I think we launched it like 3 days ago. I think there's 2 subscribers. It's me and Summer.
We literally just launched it. We don't even have a proper photo on there, I don't think.
But by the time you hear this, there will be 4 subscribers. We're really killing it.
We are starting to do. That's another thing that's come out of this. We're like, okay, we're going to start doing some YouTube, and Mike has realized that he likes to edit videos with
turns
misspelled
out
words on it.
Turns out that my spelling is terrible, but my video editing is also terrible, but getting better.
Can I talk about our typical day?
Sure, please do.
So here's our typical quarantine life right now. Hey guys, guess what? We have a new website where you can see all of our podcasts and get easy access to the show notes, everything we talk about on the episodes, and you can even listen to the podcast directly from the site. You can contact us through the site and share your thoughts and questions. Check it out at www.everythingalways.co. That's www.everythingalways.co.
And you can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Everything Always Co. We just set it up, and we'll be sure to put important announcements there.
And we love that this podcast has been so helpful to so many, and our hope is to share it with even more. So can you help us? Will you take a moment now or after the episode to subscribe to the podcast, write a review, and share it? It would mean the world to us, and it helps us to keep bringing you the best content.
Come on, we appreciate you guys. So what do you say, baby? Back to the episode?
Back to the episode. We do have the kids on a schedule because they are doing their distance learning. So there are things like there's a certain amount of hours of things that they need to do for classes. They get their assignments. So what we've done is blocked out times for here's your study time, here's break time. They have virtual classes that they're doing. So like Logan, for example, actually is doing probably more martial arts now because he's doing the workouts every single morning. And he'll do that online. And then they have like their live classes that they're doing, whether it's for dance, martial arts, whatever it is that they're doing. So that stuff has kind of stayed regular. They're just doing it at home. For us, I usually am either working out first thing in the morning, or I take a break in the middle of the day. Like if I'm going to go outside, because I like to do a long walk, I'm like, okay, before I take this break, I'm going to run and then I'm going to do a long walk, which has been awesome. And then in between, I'm kind of doing work like I normally do and have my schedules where I have Tuesdays are usually like I'm recording batch podcasts for Backstage Business, my other podcast. And then certain days are like, okay, these are days that I will have meetings. And then these are days that I'm just trying to get other work done. But it's pretty much just like we work from home.
This portion of the podcast I know is exceptionally riveting as Summer goes through and tells you about her daily schedule.
You are so rude. I was about to get into your stuff. No, that's actually the point, is that it's not that exciting. And then Mike is usually, you kind of go out, you'll do like maybe a grocery run, you'll get mail. You have a couple of work things that are going on that are...
I secretly sneak to the beach, throw my towel down.
Yeah. And then usually now he'll text and be like, okay, are you ready for pool time? It'll be like 4:00.
It'll be like 1 PM.
Well, he will say that at 1:00. Are you ready now? But then you don't actually show up until 3 hours later. That's literally our exciting day. And then we make dinner, we'll play a game, and that's it. That's our exciting life right now. sometimes you'll take us out on a golf cart adventure ride to like the deserted golf course.
There is a golf course right next to us that closed about 2 years ago. And for whatever reason, I don't really get this, but people have completely vandalized the old clubhouse. And the golf course now is like overgrown. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to make a video right. Why not make a video? Let's use the GoPro. Let's do a mission video. Anyway, it is creepy. It is like scary out there. So
Mike's making cooking shows. Mike's making cooking shows and all kind. You've got all kinds of stuff that you've been putting together. So you've taken up a new hobby of editing videos. Okay, let's talk about some real stuff, Mike. What is your like biggest fear of all of this?
Wow, that's
pandemic and stuff for real.
That's a serious question. And to be honest, my biggest personal fear is not the virus. It is not getting sick. It is not that part of it, right? My biggest fear is that we are going to do lasting damage on our economy. I'm so worried about the people that we know, the business owners, the people that work at all of these places that are closed, right? And they're really struggling. Like people are suffering right now because they're not allowed to work. And I know they're scared, they're nervous. Mm-hmm. I know everyone's like, oh yeah, unemployment's paying, more money or whatever. I'm like, well, they get an extra $600 on top of nothing. Like people right now are suffering. Mm-hmm. And this, if you've ever wanted to be a person that gives, now would be a great time to figure out a way to give back if you can, right? Because no matter how bad it seems for you personally, it's worse for someone else.
Don't worry about Mike making all those noises.
And of course, I guess the disclaimer is in there. Of course, we feel really bad for the families that have lost loved ones and family members and those things. And I'm not trying to say that, it isn't a real thing, but I am saying that, I'd say my biggest fear is that the economy is going to be damaged. Now, I'm also very optimistic that as soon as we can get past this, that things are going to rebound even stronger. So
it'll take time. But yeah, I agree. No, and to your point, it is a very serious thing. I mean, that's my biggest fear as well. Is I think that there will be some positive things that come from this, new ways of doing things that we've had to learn. I'm a little bit scared about how people are going to be towards each other. I know everybody's like, hey, you should have been respecting distance for a long time and always, stay 6 feet away. But I like to give hugs and I like to shake hands. I'm not scared of that. I've never been a germaphobe, so I'm not scared of those things.
Yeah, it's a little weird when like Summer's trying to hug the lady at the counter at Starbucks and things like that. But
I am not, but like, it is scary. I think the biggest fear for me too is the loneliness. I think of older people that are sick and don't get to have their family members around them while they're going through this. That really saddens me. And I feel that, some people that are just alone and haven't gotten to see, we're with our family. We're together and we're, Yeah.
What about people that are like stuck in a place where they don't have their family, they're not around, the people that they love, not even the people that are sick. I'm just saying, like, we have a friend whose, cousin is stuck in France because she was there studying and she doesn't really have a lot of friends. The school is closed. She couldn't get a flight back. I mean, wow.
Things like that. It's just, there are so many situations and there are people, there are families going hungry. It's just that stuff is going to take. I am worried about what's going to happen when we come out of this. Like it's too late for some people, and like you said, the biggest fear too is our economy. And I'd like to stay positive too, and think that we can come back stronger, but we just don't know. I know that I'm doing all that I can within my business to make the necessary pivots, to change, to really understand where people are at. We're B2B business, where are these other businesses at? And we're hearing, both sides. There are some businesses that are actually thriving during this time. And there are some that are like, we're good, we're going to be okay. And then there's some that are freaking out because they've had to move all virtual and it's just a whole big cluster.
And it's not
And then
working.
There's people that are just like, yeah, we can't, we've got to stop everything. So We've definitely seen it. I've seen it on my side. I know you've seen it on your side with your businesses. It's scary. And what's going to happen, with the kids and all that? I mean, we've actually kind of said, should we just take the kids out of school entirely and homeschool them and just travel? Like we come up with like all these ideas.
We're so ready to be out moving around. Okay, first, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What's the first thing you're going to do when this is done? I know it probably won't work like this where it's like snap your fingers and then all of a sudden everything's open. But let's say we're back to normal right now. What's the first thing you would do?
I'm going to text my manicurist and be like, do you have time for me to get a mani-pedi? I'm like, I so want to get a mani-pedi. Like, I know that's so silly, but I'm so excited to do that. That gets me ready for all the fun stuff we're going to do.
The first thing I'm doing is I'm driving down to Shinavasaka and I'm getting a masterpiece hand roll at my favorite sushi place.
It's not called Shinavasaka anymore, but that's okay.
Oh, it's similar to that. You don't have to call me out.
It's Akihana.
It's always going to be Shinavasaka to me.
It's Akihana. But yeah, I know. We've been like sushi. There's a lot of things. I definitely have a list. I'm like, I can't wait to get my hair cut. I can't wait to there's so many things.
I told you I can cut your hair.
Yeah. A little nervous about that. Yeah. So I think those are our fears. Those are some good things that have come out of this. Family time has been good. I don't know. I think that's I will say I'm really grateful that for what the situation is, I'm really grateful for how we've, for the way that we've gone through this, hasn't been so awful. Our frustrations and things are very mild. I will say we're doing like last night, for example, Mike was on this Bocelli, Pavarotti, Josh Groban kick.
Man, that music is just so good while quarantining.
He was very into it. It was blasting, and
we were playing it pretty loud.
I think you were getting a little emotional over it too.
I was not. That music's is great.
That's something people may not know about you, but you actually do have a very deep love for arts, for music, for theater. You do. Is that okay for me to say?
Listen, you're killing my machismo.
Baby, I think it's so awesome. It makes you have a very soft side. I love it.
We're going to talk about that. Don't worry.
Anyways, that's our catch up. That's it. We just wanted to share, hey, this is the Felix Mulder bunch during quarantine. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to add?
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
This has been a lot of fun. Anyway, don't forget, go to our YouTube channel.
Also,
and subscribe.
We have
number 3.
We have some new social media going. Everything Always Co. on Instagram, Everything Always page on Facebook. And follow us, message us if you have specific questions. Really getting some of these topics are intense. So we've gotten some great private messages or DMs because I think some people don't want to be open about certain things, which is totally fine. And we get it. But we super appreciate all of the messages that we get has been really great. That's it. We're just checking in. We hope that you guys are all super healthy, staying safe, making the best that you can out of quarantine time. We're sending you all love. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. Our goal is to bring you all kinds of value that will help you navigate these challenging waters of blending a family.
Reach out to us if there's something specific you want to hear.
And don't forget to rate, and subscribe to the podcast.
And if you really like it, share it with someone you love.
Ooh, and be bold enough to share it with someone you don't.